All right, supposedly we're live. Hello, everybody. It's TFYLP episode 184. I had to find it on the screen because I forgot. We've been on a holiday break. We returned last week, but we had some guests. This is the first all just TFYLP cast show of 2016. We're coming back. Mixed topics. We're gonna just have some fun tonight. Talk some Transformers. We're going to kill a little bit of time here first because Hangouts has been acting funny. So I'm going to go ahead and ask my guests, the fellow cast members of TFYLP, how was you guys' holidays?
Good. Got to go south for a couple of weeks.
I love the dead silence when you said that. Just hush over the crowd.
Just like, yeah, I had to see family. That sucked. So, you guys get anything good for the holidays? I guess I should introduce everyone. We got Brycey. He's been gone for a little while. He's back today.
A few months.
Yeah, we got Brett.
Shut up.
And we have Jason, the Plasticon. He returns. And
Yes.
we apparently also have Daniel, who just jumped right in while we were introducing people. Talk about perfect timing.
Canadians are invading.
Perfect timing.
Let me just set up everything. I just got in.
All right, so you guys get anything interesting over the holidays? I know one of us got something pretty interesting at the very least.
Yeah, I'd say I kind of did. My boss surprised me, and some of you guys probably saw my haul video if you hadn't. I got a 1978 Millennium Falcon that I'm going to have to restore now. It's in really good condition. It's just missing a few bits, and stickers need to be replaced. It has some slight yellowing, but what Falcon doesn't at this point. So unless you
Right
have a
now,
box one.
Right now, I'm just like enthralled with Daniel's breathing.
I know, right?
What? Sorry?
It's your breathing. You can hear
Oh,
it.
I'm sorry.
I'm waiting for him to all of a sudden just,
I just
am
came
your
back from the gym. I'm
father.
sorry. I'm in like a rush. Is that better now?
Yeah,
I saw your movie. I don't know what you're talking about.
We know we're talking about Star Wars stuff, and you're sitting there breathing, so, I guess that's
Yeah.
enough.
There you go.
Hey, what was the Millennium Falcon you found? Oh.
Well, I did get that. My boss did purchase one of the newer clone troopers with an AT-AT walker, or ATST kind of thing. I have yet to open it up. I'm going to do probably...
I'm still trying to figure out where, Transformers for your listening pleasure gives a rat's butt about Star Wars.
I mean, I think everyone who's listening to this probably cares a whole lot about Star Wars, but
Baloney.
I was joking with Jason here at the beginning of the cast that we should just totally abandon the whole Transformers topic tonight and just talk Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
No.
And let the rants begin.
I'm not even going to go into it. Not even going to go into it.
You get anything Transformers related?
Oh, yeah, I did. I got me one of them.
Nice.
Very nice. I really like it. And I got me...
Now
one
that's
down. Oh, yeah, I forgot. For
That's
our visually impaired.
that's a really sun-bleached Sunstreaker, right?
That's right. It is a white Lambo Sunstreaker Diaclone with a driver. Missing one little missile I gotta find, so I gotta find that. And then the Diaclone Liger, the Mirage.
Now, see, that one looks a lot more like just straight-up Mirage.
It
Is
is.
there a lot of differences between the two of them?
Stampings. That's it. And then there's a rare variation, I guess you call it variation, where they actually had Liger written on the side. This word up here. But of course, I don't have that one because I haven't seen one in 6 or 7 years. So they very rarely come up. But I picked those up. Then I, of course, got some knockoff goodies that we'll talk about later.
Ooh,
Nice.
I love them.
Yes.
You get anything decent over the holidays, Daniel?
Transformer related, not really. A lot of, I don't know why. Like I found over this holiday season, I was on a very big video game kick because I took a trip over the weekend to the States. We went, like me and the girlfriend, we went to New York City to do the whole holiday season into the big, dropping of the ball thing. As a Canadian, that's a big deal, so to
I
go
forgot
do
they
that.
even
So,
still do that.
yeah. No, but I mean, it was a,
My question is you put gravy over it.
yeah.
Okay. I'm just curious. Let's put gravy over everything up there.
Yeah, with
Okay.
cheese curds. No, it was a big deal because I wanted to check out the Nintendo store, and also because the Toys R Us at Times Square was closing, like for the last time. So I wanted to be there for like the final days and everything because that was a pretty hype, awesome place. But a lot of the stuff that I bought was, I mean, I went to the Nintendo store and went crazy because that was a lot of my big spending that whole time. And I don't want to say I don't do the Christmas thing, but it's just like so many times I just turn to friends and family and just go, don't buy me anything. Like every day is Christmas already. There's always a package in the mail. To buy me something is a waste of money.
Well,
for that.
real quick, only because you said that, one of the things that we like to do is give people points, tips, and this, that, and the other, and we're not going to go on to the relationship side and say that for those that have a significant other, when they say, oh, don't get me something, don't worry about that, don't do this, don't fall into that trap. Buy them something anyway. All right?
Oh no, I
Buy
get
them something anyway.
I
If
get
it's a significant other, you need
but
to.
I don't expect anything back in all honesty because I don't expect anyone, even friends that are like male, I don't expect them to have to go through that headache to go into like the Toys R Us aisle and go, oh Jesus crap, what the hell doesn't he have? Like it's a crapshoot. So it's just better for them. Just look, bro, don't worry about it. You know what I mean? I won't feel any ill will if you didn't spend $14.99 on me on a deluxe, drift. It's not going to kill me, So
I fell into that this year myself. I kept joking. This was the first Christmas where I had an adult Christmas. And it was because, people were like, what do you want for Christmas? What do you want for Christmas? Like, well, I bought myself everything I wanted to
Exactly.
this year. I could use some pants. I could use some clothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Buy me some clothing.
Totally. No, but that's what I mean. It's you reach that point where it's just like everything you ever need, you just kind of wake up and get anyways, especially when we live in such an instant satisfaction society of just going on to Amazon and clicking. So you really, there's, at that point, yeah, maybe a sweater is a better gift than anything now at this point.
Oh yeah, and I live in Orlando, so I can get same day shipping now.
There you go. But yeah, I didn't get anything. Sorry guys, kind of boring, but yeah.
What about you, Bryce?
Not really.
Not really.
Everyone's the same.
Not really. Yeah. We had this discussion already beforehand, and I'm like, we're gonna run with it anyways. I did get one thing that was unexpected, and a friend sent me this.
MP tracks.
Yeah. Because I love the tracks. I love tracks before I ever saw G1, just based on his vehicle mode. I love that old Corvette.
67 Corvette, man.
Yeah, so friend knew that I liked that car, and so he sent me that. This is the first Autobot car I've had because I don't really collect the Masterpiece figures. And I'm told he's the weakest of them, but I wouldn't know.
Bliss through ignorance. It's still good. It's still good. I understand what people are complaining about, but in all honesty, I think also because Trax is one of those guys that he had a pretty solid alternators toy that was a Corvette. He had a pretty solid, classics toy that more or less was a Corvette. So I guess what did people expect at this point from, this one? That it's the same thing like if whoever had a Masterpiece Hound, like he had a very solid alternator toy. You had a very solid classics toy. How many times do you reinvent the wheel at this point to make something that great?
I don't know. The Mech Toys one's pretty damn good.
Oh, is
it? There's a masterpiece third party out there, so.
Yeah, I don't really mess with those too much, but they do look good though. But. And P-Trax looked good too, so you know.
Yeah,
I'm more worried about the Rodimus that's coming out. That's going to be a bad.
I just keep thinking about the third party and what I consider to be masterpiece, like the Leo Kaiser that they got coming.
That Hellbat.
The Dino King, and I mean, do you really think we're going to see those from Hasbro? Do you really think that Takara is going to do those? No.
Look how Hasbro is handling Leo Kaiser right now. You know, there you go. That right away is presented to you. You know, so we know relatively through guessing and hearsay. You know.
Didn't we kind of predict that kind of way in the future?
Oh God, we predicted that the day that Skylynx was debuted. Everyone saw that head and was like they knew right away where that was going.
Yeah.
Botcon 2015.
Well, so hopefully, if we lose any part of this podcast, we lost that first part because it was wholly uninteresting. Our miserable Christmas times. So we're gonna move right into the topics for tonight. We got some news that has come up over the break since we've been gone for a few weeks, and so we're gonna dive right in. The first big piece, I guess we can say the biggest piece that just came out today, is they revealed the combined form for Predicus for Botcon.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You all seen this?
I'm getting it up here. Hang on there.
Yes, I have.
I can't talk about it.
That's 16, isn't it?
Is that a
why do you have to talk about Botcon stuff?
Trust me, this will be very, very short and sweet.
Yeah.
So I have it screen shared here.
I was going with a blown up one. That'll work.
For everyone who, so we all knew this was coming. The combined head, of course, was that fabled.
Tripredicus.
What they said, 5 new head molds, and because the one jet had the same head. So Tripredicus, Predicus has a Tripredicus themed head. Here, they finally revealed it. We can see, and we're seeing it combined, and all the possible hesitations I had with the with Tarantulas and with Ravage, working with all that red. It's kind of been satiated here for me at the very least. I don't think they stand out too much.
Here's one thing I was going to say about that, because everyone said that the legs were a different color and that the whole top portion was all one color. But if you remember, the Japanese version was just the opposite.
Yep.
Everything below it was red, and then the black and this and that and the other. So if you look at it in that way, I actually think they're homaging it pretty well.
And what's to say that you can't do that already by just flipping the
flip
arms and legs?
Right. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So
very, very observant of you, Megamus.
I know. I
was
loved
kind of intended, but yeah.
I know it was intended. I know.
It's just the people who took the photos were kind of idiots, but I don't want to comment on that.
I probably know almost as much as you, but that's okay. Anyway, I love it. When it first came out and you see the picture of it, I immediately tagged it. I said, This is probably going to be the only box set that I keep. I have not kept any. I've kept one figure from each set as a souvenir, but I like this combined form so much that I think I'm going to keep it. I like it. I like it a lot.
I'm digging that head sculpt. The snarl is amazing. He's definitely gonna be a nice centerpiece to my Botcon Beast Wars shelves, because it's gonna have to graduate to 2 shelves because my Botcon Beast Wars shelf right now is just jam packed. But yeah, I'm looking forward to these, and announced, I guess also announced today, Botcon registration goes up next week.
Yep.
So if you like what you see here, watch out for that because next week is the week to register. And hopefully it's not a bit, just a giant cluster.
It won't be. New company.
That's good.
So
Um,
it's not the same company.
Looking forward to that.
It's, you know what, and if I could just make little comments on it, is what's cool about it is I find that if you look in the past in terms of what was successful of Botcon stuff, and what, you look at fun publications. You look at everything that, yeah, exactly. You look at everything that exists as a whole from 2005 till now, and what really, if you look at all the sets that have come before this one that was really popular and that you really dig, and a lot of people like 2007 with the classics kind of, let's finish our Seeker jets, but in the end, everyone really likes that Beast Wars set, and this, I'm kind of happy that in a lot of ways that for Beast Wars' anniversary that they're really going head on into this, that they're really doing something that's a nod, and people were complaining about the red, but I think the red is perfect if you're, you want show accurate, that's what I've always said is, if you want toy accurate, we have some really good toy accurate toys. They're called the original Tripredacus toys. They got those awesome greens and purples and browns already. Where this, the way that I feel I'm going to be displaying it is I'm going to actually try to hope that someone makes a third-party center table that I could gather them around and put a little LED light above them. I'm already trying to play out in my head how I want to do this because they look great. They really do. Yeah. The samples don't do them justice because these are all Photoshop samples that you guys are seeing with digital heads on them. Yeah. It looks great, especially the Tripredacus head. I like that they were able to get that clown face kind of original paint scheme that kabuki kind of look that it originally possessed. I really like that it kept that, and have the single horn too.
It definitely looks great. It just screams Tripredacus, and that's a good thing.
Yep.
Because I love that. No matter how crazy the head is, I absolutely love Tripredacus. I have two of them. And when I got the second set, I'm like, from a lot buy, I'm like, I can't sell these because Tripredacus is just so cool.
He's always been really awesome, and don't let that image that we have right now of the combined form fool you in the sense that it's very red in the top. Keep in mind that could be broken up by mixing and matching parts, and Megamis kind of pushed it in the direction that it's kind of intended. So,
Well, I at least like what they've done. Like if the chest actually comes out looking like that, the chest really breaks up the red.
No, but it's more the arms.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's because I think like the biggest common complaint that I'm seeing is that people are like, oh, it's too much red. It's too much red on the top. But keep in mind, you could swap combiner limbs, and there's a more intended display for them, so to speak.
And see, and this was the first time I've actually seen this. I wasn't entirely sold on the red. I like that, it's show accurate. I would love to see these in toy colors. I would have both sets if I could. But this is the first time that really convinced me that the red is fine, and it was always just a hesitation of, is it going to work well with Ravage and Tarantulas? And
that was always kind of a.
And I think it looks fine.
Yep.
And so everything's been.
When you see it in person, it'll make a lot more sense. I find it in the past with a lot of Botcon toys. Sometimes, the revealed images are CG mock-ups, and then when you get the actual product in your hand, it looks better or worse. In this case, it looks a lot better. It really does. We're not going to have a Metal Hawk situation. That was a different, case, but an unfortunate one. But looks really good.
See, Mike, I thought you would like this one the best. Because out of all of them, to me, that one I just love it. The colors,
yeah, I definitely do.
And that's the Tarantulas. And it just, the colors are, even in a robot mode or in vehicle mode, you look at that and you go, those are the colors of Transmetal Tarantulas. That's him.
Yep. Well, and that was also because if you look at the recent subscription service, we kind of had a Tarantulas. that just passed, and
Right.
it was a motorcycle and stuff. But the colors were more original, non-transmetal Tarantulas. So you have your pre-Beast Wars non-transmetal Tarantulas, and now you have this one. But to a lot of people, I find that when you think of Tarantulas, you think of Season 2. You think of that iconic transmetal form and all the crazy stuff he did in it. So that's how I always envision the character.
Yeah, that was his. He was pure awesome at that point.
Oh, he was. Alex Willow, amazing voice actor, did an amazing job.
Well, and on the subject of voice actors, so we had one have to cancel.
Right.
That was the voice.
Exit one spider, enter another.
Yeah, the voice of Tarantulas. But in comes Venus Terzo, which is Black Arachnia's voice actor.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And she's awesome. She is. First of all, I don't want to sound biased. She's a Montreal local, but she's awesome. She's done shows for TFCon in the past, 2 of them, and she's super open and friendly. Anyone that has to share a panel with Dick Gauthier, who's a lot more blue and vulgar, she's a very lovable person. She's pretty cool.
So yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, it's perfect timing too, because everyone can get a hold of a nice or a fairly decent-looking Black Arachnia figure right now to get autographed. I'm sure you'll find plenty of them at Botcon's show floor.
And the guy who drew it, the side of the box, is going to be there too, Sakamoto-san. So
nice. But so that's most of the Botcon reveals. Well, I guess that's all the Botcon stuff for right now. Which we'll move on to Takara, because Takara has declared this the Year of the Beast, which I find amazing, because Hasbro has declared this the Year of the Titans, which is a shame for the 20th anniversary of Beast Wars. But we've actually gotten a silhouette of MP Primal, and I'm guessing that they plan on a reveal here soon. And let me pull this up. Ah, shoot. So we get to see some of the lines to this thing.
to a degree.
To a degree.
Yeah.
Mostly
as best as a silhouette could give us.
Yeah. Well, the silhouette. It's more about the silhouette for the beast mode there.
Yeah.
What are you guys thinking about that?
Oh, I love it. Love it.
I'm curious to see. Again, it just like I was saying before with Trax, it's one of those characters that had so many already really good representations of the character. Like, I mean, the peak of it being probably the Beast Wars Returns 2-pack, and on the flip side of that, a Robot Masters, retool. I mean, there's been such good attempts at making a show-accurate version of this character. Let's see what they're going to do this time around to really wow us and put that MP price point attached to it.
I agree with you 100%. I think that because we all voted. It was a while ago on what we thought was our favorite Transformer, and believe it or not, I had picked Optimus Primal, the 8, that's not deluxe. That would be an
Ultra scale.
Ultra scale, and I said because you get so much play value for your buck back then. I mean, had all the missiles, the
mace.
Skull mace, I mean, all that stuff. So then they did it in the anniversary pack, and all they did was change it up a little bit with the coloring, the different face, and I'm telling you, thumbs up, look great. So, yeah, give me more. I want to see a superposable masterpiece scale 8. That's what I want to see.
I'm really curious what they're going to do to make this. Like, that Ultra figure, in a lot of ways, I almost feel like what could you do to make it even more perfect? Like, I mean, if I had to be super critical, it's like, well, the Ultra figure didn't have the perfect wrist cannon thing that he had. So I mean,
I'll be honest with you. If you were to mingle or merge the Robot Master with it, because it had the pop-up cannons,
yeah,
it had the jetpack, so. The best of both worlds.
They're gonna make that perfect version, and then everyone's gonna have to sell their Returns 2-pack.
No. You hope they do. But also being Hasbro Takara, this is a perfect opportunity to screw it up. So
what's the Returns 2-pack? You mean that's the one with the remolded head?
Yeah, it was originally,
For
it
the-
first came out as Beast Wars Returns, which was a 2-pack with Megatron, and then it was released under the 10th anniversary line as a 2-pack
Yeah,
in
that's-
Toys R Us.
That's the one I thought you were talking about. So,
Yeah.
see, to me, the
Yes,
This little cat right here.
yeah.
yeah,
Better
so
look.
I call it the Returns one because that's what it was originally when it was first released. It's exactly the same in
Yeah.
both releases.
Yeah, the different month.
Yeah,
The
the more
recent-
show-accurate face.
the
Yeah.
recent Unite one has no difference between that, right?
Just the rat trap that comes with it. That's the one that has all the big repainting and tooling on it. I think the weapons were painted, if I remember correctly.
Oh,
There was something that was mildly done on it.
Well, because I got the Unite one.
See, I'm looking at the Robot Masters one.
I'm trying to. I was just
One
wondering if
moment.
there was a
Let me
difference
get
between the Unite.
Ouch. No, but I think you gotta. I mean, like I said, this was one of the best figures back in '95, and then when they redid it. So, just I want to see
Here's
this.
that
I want to see the
face.
Robot Master one.
So does your Unite one have red eyes?
I
That
don't
face?
think so.
Because that's the only
It's
two
right
big, that's the
oh,
two
shoot.
big selling points is having two perfect faces.
Oh well, the Unite is the
Oh, they used the that one.
yeah.
Let me
Oh,
see
that's
it.
true.
does
Yeah, they
have-
put Rat Trap with that one. That's right. Okay,
Let
it's
me-
exactly
let
the
me see
same
a
then.
blow
Yeah,
up of
yeah,
that one. Now, is that one the same as? How is that different from this one?
This is the Ultra. That's what I'm curious about. Is what's the difference between the Unite one and the one
Looks
that was
exactly
released
the same.
previously?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks exactly the same.
I'm figuring it's probably this. It probably
What's
is.
the H base? What's it look like? Flip it over.
Here, I'll just pop it off the chest. It's easier that way.
Just pop it off the
Let's see.
chest and it shows up there.
So it looks
Looks
like
the
it's
same.
Yeah, so it's basically just a reissue.
No. Unless it's just a coloring. This, his got a more of a outline.
Yeah, I
Black
guess the
nostrils.
face is a little darker.
Yeah, it's darker and it's got that gray around it with the nostrils. This one has no painted nostrils and it's more silver.
Yeah.
Either way, it's all going to be moot when we get the masterpiece one. I hope.
I don't know about Moots. I can own a
I'll still keep it.
Optimus Primal.
Oh yeah, like I'm going to get rid of anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I get rid of it.
So, we were talking about how do you make since he's already had such great figures, how do you make the perfect Primal?
I got it right here. That's what you do right there.
Put hair on it.
Well, so
Give him fur. He's got to have fur.
what I was going to say is the
Let's
perfect
get me to
Primal
see
to
that
me.
Hasbro does to be felt.
What was the name of that SDCC rock band set? What was it, the Knights of Unicron or
Knights of
something?
Unicron.
Yeah.
Yeah, they missed the chance with making the hair metal band a bunch of beasts.
Yeah, I think that would have made more sense.
But to me, what would make the perfect Primal is not his robot mode, the feature of his robot mode. It's going to be the features of his beast mode, and it's going to be making that beast mode emote or be able to emote like in the cartoon.
It's a possibility. Like, you could see there's room to put some engineering in that chest there, because we know for a fact, I mean, just even looking at the silhouettes, that transformation, we already know how that's going to go down. Like, there's going to be very little that's going to be surprising in terms of the configuration from one mode to the other. So it's more a matter of, you kind of look at G1 Grimlock, the original toy, and then you look at the masterpiece, and yeah, there wasn't much done there that changed from the original toy, but so instead, because there wasn't a big engineering leap, they were like, well, we're going to do interchangeable eyes, we're going to do a tail thing, we're going to do all kinds of little built-in gimmicks. So who knows, maybe there'll be moving eyes, done Hot Toys style or something, or maybe you never know. It could be something, a little switch in the back, or they'll do I don't know, maybe they'll go the extra mile and throw in a mutant head that doesn't look like a woman with lipstick,
I mean,
Honestly, I think it'd be kind of interesting if they engineered it so it had like magnets and had like interchangeable like face, so that we have different facial expressions.
That would be
you
great
could put
too.
on them.
that'd
be kinda
pretty
neat.
sweet.
Well,
I mean-
and considering, and I agree with what Sideburn's saying, considering how much Beast Wars was, their facial expressions were such a key thing with mainframe CG, that you could watch it on mute, and you know the characters really emoted very well because of design and the way the faces were done. That it would be something that'd be very interesting to have that. Which, in all honesty, up to this point, Transformers really hasn't had. There hasn't been really like toys that have like interchangeable expressions outside of like the non-transforming Revoltech stuff or something.
Starscream, Masterpiece had one.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the flipping face, that one. Yeah.
Yeah. But usually they're always incorporated, and you just get a few static faces. But yeah, that would be great. I would say at the very least, an articulated head on his gorilla form, and you've got a better beast mode.
Oh yeah.
Like a switch
and
hit
hopefully we get
makes
that.
his mouth move or moves his eyes move when his mouth does or something.
Articulated fingers.
Well, again, when you have that Masterpiece price point, which up to this point, I mean, I think Bumblebee was the cheapest one. No, it wasn't. Yeah, it was Bumblebee. I mean, up to that point, Masterpiece, I think the lowest it's ever been was like a 4,800 price point. If they give it, I mean, I don't know, has there been solicitations of how much it's going to cost?
I don't think so. And
then that could give us a really good idea of what's going to be put into it.
Well, because the real question is he Autobot car sized, or is he like Grimlock Soundwave
That's why I'm
sized?
curious about the price point, because that'll really tell us a size. It'll really tell us, if not accessories or what's put into it. Maybe it comes with a golden disc. You never know. It'd be cool.
Yeah,
2 little die-cast golden discs. It'd be awesome. Yeah. Instead of those coins they always give us, Think about it.
Yeah, the problem is they'll make the special limited edition coin the golden disc, and then
that's what I was about to say. Maybe the disc is the coin.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're saying. Absolutely. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. You never know.
That
I'm just happy that they decided to use 2016 to celebrate it, because they could have easily, like what they did with Unicron, they could go, okay, we're going to do a 86 movie celebration 30th anniversary, or they could go, I mean, it's technically the 15th anniversary of Robots in Disguise. It's technically, there's a lot of different ways they could have went with it, but they went head-on Beast Wars, which I think is the smartest move. I think that generation of fans who were even like 9 years old watching it are now in their mid-20s, so everyone is on board for that.
That's me.
Well, there you go. And it works.
I'm just kind of curious if this might spike them coming up with like a whole new Beast Wars line.
No. No one was pissed when there was a 10th anniversary line. People welcomed it when they got their first Transmutate toy and DVD pack-ins and little mini Axolons and Darkseid. Everyone loved it. I mean,
I think that's what he means. I think
that's what I'm saying. I mean, it'd be kind of cool to see them go back and not necessarily take the old molds, but reinvent those old molds with more engineering and better engineering.
It would be a surprise if they planned that for 2016, but I think we would have known about it a lot earlier.
Yeah,
I mean, we learned about Primal the day of Botcon 2015. There was that big reveal with Ironhide, I remember, the day of Botcon. So it
had that 3D printed shell that was based on
that weird shell that we were all going like, how does this even transform?
Yeah.
I mean, and so right away, the writing was on the wall more than a year ago that we knew what was coming. So I'm pretty sure if there was a whole line planned, we would have known by now at least something. Either that or Botcon's gonna come around in April and they'll go, oh, by the way, end of September 2016, whole Beast Wars line. I don't know.
Well, yeah, definitely not out of.
I'd like to see a Masterpiece roller skate T-Rex.
I definitely don't see it coming out of Hasbro, but it's all up in the air what we might see from Takara. I mean, because up until now they'd only really shown the Masterpiece. We knew they had plans for Masterpiece Optimus Primal, but then they had the whole teaser for Beast Wars 20th, and they had, the QRC's voice actor talking about the Beast Wars 20th anniversary.
Yeah, and Q Transformers,
And we have no idea, so we don't really know what's coming out. Even if it's just Q Beast Wars, I
dig it.
Perfectly fine with that.
Yeah, I dig it.
I'll buy the whole entire set.
You and me both. No, I'm just happy that any of this is happening. I think Beast Wars went very dormant at one point, and I mean especially when classics rolled around, it was always really G1, 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 and then when you got the one Beast Wars toy, it was always kind of a stinker. Unfortunately, I mean the Dinobot was like good in Henkei, I guess, and the Cheetor was so.
Yeah.
And they didn't really do much with those molds afterwards. They didn't. Oh, let's do a Grimlock. Let's do I don't know what you do with Cheetor. Shadow Panther,
You couldn't do anything with that cheetah. The problem is he looked too much like a cheetah. You couldn't.
Yeah, that's but it's just so it was that was kind of the thing. And then when going into Combiner Wars, it was just like, well, it's more of this. And now especially with what's going on with the IDW comics, that's their own IDW. They don't really revisit Beast Wars unless it's like a Rat Trap character that's not Rat Trap that So it's nice to have something that actually harkens back to that old show, that old fiction, that old continuity, and those old designs.
There was a rumor on Facebook yesterday about a bunch of other Beast Wars things coming in for Masterpiece, so I'm trying to find it.
For Masterpiece.
Well, there's the rumor, and again, it's only a rumor. It's just everyone thinking there's going to be a Ravage X9 reissue, but then again, that's just an image that was posted by TFYLP, and in the past, he's taken dynamic shots of old valuable toys, and it never meant anything, so.
Yeah.
No, this was saying like Megatron and a couple other ones.
I wouldn't be surprised to see something about a Masterpiece Beast Wars Megatron, but I haven't seen much.
There we go.
I think that's something we would have known a lot earlier.
Yeah, but it may not be this year, but down the road.
Yeah,
I mean, you've
see
got Primal. You got to have. How long did it take from MP1 to what is it? MP5 was Megatron.
Yeah, there was a lot more time.
There was a big gap. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I mean, don't give up hope that we're going to have a nice Masterpiece T-Rex.
Well, no,
Maybe
it's
just waiting to see what Primal sells like.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, because they're cranking out 3 or 4 masterpieces a year now. So we never know what might happen in 2017 if this Primal does well.
Well, then the other thing is that they're able to reuse it. Repaints.
Yeah.
So,
well, Primal I could see. They'll do your E-Hobby, Burning Convoy. They'll do...
you name it.
Yeah.
What about Waspinator? It'd have to have an exploding gimmick if they made one.
Here's the thing. I can understand for Beast Wars you go with your 2 big hitters, your Primal and your Megatron. For such a niche group, I seriously doubt we're going to see Masterpiece versions of the other characters.
I agree.
It's too niche. Now, I mean, I would love to see a nice, about this big rat. I would love it, but don't think it's going to happen.
And the sad thing is that as much as North America loves Beast Wars, I don't think. Well, it was successful in Japan, but I don't think it was as beloved as it was in Japan because of the way it was presented to the Japanese. We love Beast Wars because of its dynamic story and the way the characters were developed and the way they were presented, and where you watch how Beast Wars was presented in Japan and you go, it wouldn't have that same impact on them. They appreciate it for the CG and the engineering of the toys, and they still really like the show, but it wasn't as gaga crazy for them. I mean, they love their G1, and there's a reason for it. They love their we got a Masterpiece Star Saber for that reason. They love their characters for a good reason.
Right. But and I was just thinking, not meaning to jump the gun here, but we could actually segue right into a viewer's question in regards to the number of cast members on Beast Wars compared to other shows, and if that had something to do with if we liked it. And Mike and I were talking about that, and I tend to agree. I think that because there were less characters, you could develop each character more.
Of course.
With the storyline. And I think that a lot of people that like Beast Wars not only like it because of the toys, but definitely because of the storyline.
Well, the one thing that was unique about Beast Wars is that you could almost literally link every character, and you have a pretty good idea of what everyone thinks of each other. And what I mean by that is because you might love G1, but what does Bumblebee think of Prowl? You don't know. What does Prowl think of Sideswipe? You don't know. What does Sideswipe think of Optimus Prime? I don't know. Give him a rocket pack, you know. Like but with Beast Wars, there was such an organic character development there that you knew what Cheetor felt about Dinobot. You knew what Dinobot felt about Rhinox or Rat. Like there's every character you almost have a pretty clear idea because they were a people. They really were. The way that they were designed, the way that they were organically presented to us. Again, the body language because of the excellent work that Mainframe did putting that show together. And it's amazing considering the fact it was 1997 and the CG that was presented to them back then that they could work with. Like, it's insane. It's insane. Like even like the dynamic between Rhinox and Air-Razor, there was something there. They didn't really explore it more, but there was something there in her first episode, The Spark. Like there was so much of that, and that I've always felt has been its biggest selling point. Because, like you said, that the cast was limited because of budget. They couldn't create 1 million characters. They would have loved to, but they couldn't. But because they couldn't do that, it forced them to make, hey, we have to fill an episode. Let's do Better Mousetrap, a whole Rat Trap episode.
Right,
Let's do
right.
Equal Measures, a whole Cheetor episode. Instead of just, let's do another episode, introduce a new toy. Let's do another episode, introduce a new toy, which unfortunately the Japanese are usually guilty of many times.
Yeah.
They very rarely have like especially with season 1, you'll see like everyone kind of got pairs. Everyone kind of got 2 episodes to make them shine. Better Mousetrap, and what was the episode with Rat Trap where he was? I don't remember the name. Everyone always had like 2 episodes where like he was Rat Trap when he was leader. Code of Hero, not Code. Oh my God.
No, that was the Other Visits.
Not Other Visits.
Other Visits. Because it's when they first discover this
Chain of Command.
Right? Yeah, there you go.
Like there was always episodes where you got the characters to be able to shine in some areas. There was the 2 Cheetor episodes, which was Equal Measures, and the other one, which was not Spider Game, Web of something. Oh, this is all going off the top of my head, but it was like one of the early episodes, which made Cheetor shine and very popular with a lot of people with the early episodes of Season 1, and Season 2 had so many great Dinobot moments, and anyone who's a Beast Wars Megatron fan, David Kay did an incredible job. Easily, without a doubt, my favorite Transformer villain of all time. Unrivaled.
Real quick, I wanted to give the credit to who actually asked this question, and because I butchered his name last time, I'll butcher it again. James, I'm going to go with Gaultier. He said, and this was his exact question, when creating new shows, do you think a less is more cast like Beast Wars is better, or more the merrier like G1, Robots in Disguise, or etc.? Now, Daniel's given his point. I've given my point. Mike, what's your point on it?
Well, so the funny thing about this question is there's a little bit at the end that says, for a toy line. But
yeah,
when it comes to shows, I definitely like the less is more. Because we've seen it with when you talk about putting G1 aside, because G1 gets that love because it was the first, and a lot of people grew up on it. When you have the big ones that really stand out for their storylines, which is your Beast Wars and your animateds, it's always because they're small casts, and because those characters were characters, and they had a lot of interactions with each other, and you did know how each character felt about each other character, and you knew what was on their mind, and you knew them. You learned who they were. When you look at, you look at RID.
Unicron trilogy across the board.
Unicron trilogy. These characters, like, what do you know about the Spy Changers and RID? They were a cool little team that showed up for a couple episodes, but who really cares, right?
Yeah, and you had like that one moment where it's like, Cross Arrow, going by the Japanese names, when you had Mirage and Ironhide, and they kind of tried to create a dynamic there, but that was really it. You don't know anything really about X-Car or Wars or even Artfire. There really wasn't much there.
And so I really like that dynamic. It's why I fell in love with Beast Wars as a kid. It's why I have a strong appreciation for animated is because those characters. Now, it can go wrong, and a prime example of it going wrong is what I would say with the recent RID, the new one. And it has a small cast, but it's just there's nothing there between those characters. And
the writing is hollow.
Yeah, it really doesn't sell anything, and so then not only do you not have a lot to look at, you have the same boring characters you have to put up with every week.
Well,
and that's one of the reasons why it fell off.
Real quick, I disagree with that. I disagree with that, and I'll give you a perfect example. And I'm going to flip it and say about the more is merrier because you were talking about it, and you also said that especially for those that grew up with it, which I did. G1, there was something neat about seeing an episode with a new character, and then going, that character's pretty badass. I can't wait to see the toy for that. And then all of a sudden you go to a toy store, and there it is. It was because what I did. That's what G1 was. All it was a toy catalog.
Well, but you kind of just actually really pointed out because what G1 was trying to sell toys.
Exactly, and it worked. It worked.
Yeah,
you saw the characters. They developed it just enough that you want to buy it.
Beast Wars, while it was also trying to sell toys, it really sold us on characters, though. It really did.
Yes.
It was like I love G1, but a lot of it is archetypes. A lot of them are not so much characters as he's this guy, he's that guy,
Well, in Beast Wars, though, if you think about it, you had slight little variations they did for things. And with RID, the new one, they're trying to do the same thing, but it almost looks like the same Regurgit toy. There's not like a lot of differences, really, when you look at those toys. Now, like Brett was saying, you had primarily duplicates of almost the same mold, just in different colors they released because of G1. Those small variations sell the toys more than just a whole regurgitated cast. Now, if you look at the way, they did the Transformers Prime, look how many times we got some of those characters, but in just different, variants. Things they did to make them slightly different.
Well,
it's like the movie ones.
Let me ask you all this. This is something else that just occurred to me. And see what you guys think. I sat there and thought about when I went back when I watched it, and then I did. What was it? You had the G1 cartoon where it constantly introduced new characters, and what was bumpered around it? Toy commercials. So you had the toy commercials. This one's coming out. You got to get this. Here's Devastator. Collect all 6. I got to go out and try and find all 6. All this, that, and the other. But the storyline was kind of crap. And.
It's not that it was crap. It was as good as it could be for 1984.
Wait a minute. Let me finish here, because here's what I'm thinking. But that was good enough for us.
Yeah.
So now you come up, years later, 95, 96. You have to have substance. You have to have substance to the show to keep people keep back watching. So my question to you is do you think they did that purposely, thinking that in order to gain the attention of the viewers, the young viewers in 95, 96, that you had to have it a little more mature than you would have been, back in the 80s?
Anything that came out, like I've talked about this many times on a lot of different podcasts, not just related to Transformers, but it's just after that first Tim Burton Batman movie came out in 1989, which then created the domino effect of the animated series by Fox, changed the game for cartoons in the 90s. Because the animated Batman series told toy companies we could write something that's intelligent and dark and sell a shit ton of toys that are just repaints of each other and with a new accessory. And those Batman toys sold like crazy. And same thing. And then when Batman Returns came out, same thing. It was just an insane Kenner toy line. This was Kenner. So this is, which is what Beast Wars would start out in before Hasbro took the reins with the Transmetals. So the thing is that they saw that, and before even Beast Wars came out, Mainframe did a show called Reboot, which was another show that really wasn't trying to sell toys. It was just trying to tell a story, a very intelligent story with a lot of stuff written into it that most kids would not get at all. Like there was so much PC lingo and stuff, and in jokes, written stuff.
Wonderful cartoon.
Yeah. So, and you would see, and even after Beast Wars, in the case would say like other stuff. It's because Mainframe #1 saw what the industry was doing animation wise at the time, and they wanted to step up the game. You know, they wanted to step up the game. They had a great show with Reboot. They would have a great show later with Shadow Raiders, also known as War Planets. You know, that's something that was a Mainframe creation. If, let's say, Beast Wars was done by the guys who did G.I. Joe Extreme, which came out that same year, or if it was the guys who did Vortex, another Power Block show that was done the same year, maybe it wouldn't have been as good. You know, it really has to do with the creators and what they saw being done by other companies that were really changing, because there was a lot of great 90s written cartoons back then, because it was a different time. X-Men came out, Marvel was really changing the game with the way stories are being told. They were being more soap opera-y, you know, previously on X-Men, you know, and you know, a continuation of a story they were trying to do to keep you know.
Well, that G.I. Joe Extreme didn't do that well, though.
Oh, it did terrible. That's just it. So that's what I'm trying to say. Imagine if Hasbro decided to put it, you know, invest in, I believe it was Deke at the time that was doing G.I. Joe Extreme. Imagine if they said, hey, Deke, we want you, you know, you did our G.I. Joe Extreme line. We want you to do our, you know, Transformers Beast Wars line, too, while you're at it. Maybe it would have been terrible. You know, who knows?
Well, I think the CG animation really brought, you know, the whole Beast Wars thing. Like, War Planets didn't do that well, although the toys were pretty cool, but I don't think there was enough hype for that one when Trendmasters released that line. I think it's a very underrated toy line, because a lot of people really don't know much about it. And it was really good. I actually enjoyed the cartoons because it's very cheesy, but that's just me.
But so if we're talking, for this question, if we're talking about shows, my more is less is my personal opinion, because I'm usually watching a show not or less is more, because I'm not trying to watch a show just to preview an upcoming toy. But when you throw in the for a toy line, I would say obviously a more the merrier approach is going to be better for a toy line in theory, because everything gets a little bit of screen time, and then kids they've seen it on TV. They go to a toy store. They want to buy it because it was on TV. If you look at Beast Wars, I would say if you look at something like Beast Wars, the figures that probably sold the best were the characters from the show, and the ones that sold the worst were the characters that weren't in the show.
Well, absolutely,
and it's just
characters always did. They always did.
It's
even back in G1. And I mean, you look at G1 and the ones that were showcased the most: Prime, Megatron, you know, Bumblebee. You look at all the mini bots. Which one do you think sold off the shelves quickest? Bumblebee. Because he was in the show the most. But Bryce, what was your question or your answer to this?
I think show-wise, the less is more works. I love animated, Victory, Master Force, all had small cast. So, and
but do you think that's
Neil
because
Kaiser's reveal was probably my favorite combiner reveal ever, because they went through each individual character within the combiner before they actually combined.
So they actually took the time to do each individual one and then do the combiner.
Yeah. For toy lines, I like a huge toy line. But
yeah, I heard that you do like a huge one. I heard that.
it's
but yeah. Wow, dude, where do you go from here? Nothing but down.
Where that huge toy line is.
Yeah. We got nowhere to go but down, I'm telling you. That's just the way it's going to go here.
Guys, the board just dropped out.
That's what I'm going to say. On that note, James also had another question. And he had said, and this is what he said: as a child, what other toy lines did you mix in with Transformers? Now, I'm going to preface this by saying to Brycey, kids' toys. Not the type of toys you're thinking of, okay? No, we're
Nothing shaped like Rail Racer.
Okay, nothing. No. All right.
Classics Astro Train.
All right, real quick. So he said for him, he likes
I love
to play
my
with Starcom.
Beast Wars second Galvatron.
There you go.
Anyway, he says he liked to play with Starcon figures with his Transformers, which makes sense. I myself, I like G.I. Joe. I like to try and integrate that as much as possible. And I actually love the fact when they had the Action Masters. I think that was probably one of the reasons I really, really liked the Action Masters. Because at the time I was really heavy into Joes. And they scaled pretty good with a lot of imagination. So, that was one
Starcom
thing.
and Mask.
Yeah, he said that he liked Starcom figures. And he
I had the big Starcom ship. I used to put the smaller, like, Micromasters and shit in it. That and Mask, the Thunderhawk.
Real quick, getting back to our previous question, only because Jim's slow on the draw. Yeah, I heard that. Jim Black says that show toys selling better than non-show because the squeaky wheel gets the grease. It's what the kids see the most, so it's what they want. Yeah, I mean, we got to stop and remember that all these toy lines, they're not really, they're not 100% geared towards us. They are actually geared towards kids. And what are the kids going to buy? They're going to buy what they see on TV. So, very true, very true. So, Daniel.
Yes.
What did you mix in with your Transformers? What lines did you mix in when you were playing as a little youngin'?
I had around, I got into Transformers 86, 87, so already at that point I was mixing in kind of Ninja Turtles by 87, 88. So, I was a late bloomer to G1.
Am I the only one that just could not stand Turtles? Oh, I didn't like them.
I don't know how you could be a 5-year-old to a 10-year-old during 86, 87, 88, 89, and not be into that.
The live action
Right here.
Turtles, man?
It was a toy line. The only thing, real quick, the only thing that I thought was really neat. The only thing I thought that was really neat about the Turtles was they had this little accessory of all the different ninja stars and everything, just a big conglomerate, a huge thing of weapons. And then it wasn't until years later that I saw that on Battle Force. I think it was called Battle Corps for Joe's, and I thought, oh, this is pretty neat. That was the only thing I thought that was neat about Turtles. They came with a bunch of weapons.
Turtles came with a lot of. I don't want to turn this into a Turtle cast, but Turtles came with a lot of accessories right out the gate. What you saw was everything was on a running sprue that you just had to clip off, all the weapons and stuff, and it had a little wood carrier or whatever, which actually was thrown out by 90% of kids because that wasn't really a weapon or anything. And I mean, that was something that I used to mix a lot with. The funny thing is, I mean, ignore what's behind me. 90% of the Transformer toys I had between ages 3 and 14 was Blaster and a handful of Micromasters. Like, literally. That was every Transformer toy I owned up until Beast Wars. So, there wasn't a lot of mixing and matching. Turtles really was a larger part. And, man, I was such a Nintendo kid.
I tell you, right now, I really wish I had that clip of the kid that said, I love Turtles.
I love Turtles.
Yeah, where he goes, I love Turtles. I would play that constantly in the background while you were talking.
Actually, I have right here on my...
You see?
I love Turtles.
Yeah. So I agree with Daniel. I mean, I didn't buy Turtle toys, but
So you were a closet
Ninja Turtles was a big thing for any kid.
Just remember,
if you grow up in the 90s, you like Ninja Turtles, you like Power Rangers. And
Michael, this is a safe place. You can come out of the closet. It's okay. You're amongst friends.
So I'm gonna go ahead and give my answer. I really didn't mix anything in with my Transformers because it's the only toys I ever asked for. So when I was growing up with Beast Wars, I only ever got Beast Wars. I didn't get anything else. Yeah, I really wasn't into any other toy.
You didn't get one of those little GoBots that got slipped in there by accident.
I got a GoBot from a flea.
Everyone got a GoBot back in the 80s when you had that ant that didn't know what the hell you wanted.
Remember, I was born in '88. I was 2 years old when the '80s ended.
Hey, you might have had a GoBot pacifier. Who knows? Come on.
But I had one GoBot, but I actually picked it out at a flea market. But no, it was I only was ever really into Transformers as toys. I didn't buy much other toys. I probably played with like some of my stuffed animals that like carried over with my Transformers, but I mostly played with Beast Wars, and then after that was RID, and after that was Armada. We really have not been into anything else. I've never really collected any other toy. So I didn't really mix much
Neither have
into
I. I only collect, a couple things.
I collect more. I buy more toys now than I used to. Like now, I have like video game figures and Godzilla figures, and I started buying a few anime figures here and there. It's I've expanded my palettes a bit, but back then it was all about Transformers. And if a birthday was coming up, I didn't get toys all year round. I got toys on my birthday, I got toys on my Christmas, and you can bet the whole entire list was Transformers. So that was my childhood.
Bryce, let's get you in real quick since we keep forgetting you.
Just that Starcom ship, Thunderhawk, crap ton of GoBots.
But mostly the Starcom shit, right?
Huh?
But mostly it was the Starcom shit.
No, that came in a lot with a bunch of Transformers like Soundwave.
No, I just love the fact that you didn't call it Starcom, you called it Starcom shit. So that's what you had.
It was only the one. I didn't have any others. Just that.
Okay.
Only that.
Plasticon?
Obviously, Lego.
Oh yeah,
They
that.
didn't build bases with their Lego. I mean,
I was too poor for Lego.
I had
didn't have Lego growing
I
up
had
either.
Hot Wheels
Mega Blocks.
and Micro Machines. That's what I
Micro Machines
primarily.
were awesome.
Well, wait a minute.
Because Micro Machines were awesome. I don't care what anyone
Daniel,
says, it's still
did
awesome.
you say that you didn't have Legos up there?
I didn't have Lego growing up. Like, kids had Lego. I just didn't have it.
I had my friends'
isn't,
Legos.
My
Isn't
God, this guy's
Lego-
stuff right.
Wasn't that originally a French company?
No, it's Denmark, bro.
Denmark. It's always been Denmark.
Okay. Is it Denmark?
Well,
it's
all
always
us
been
Europeans
Denmark.
are the same, I guess.
And I was thinking, why the hell would you have that? I mean, nationwide.
No, it's, Plasticon reminded me. Like I had a lot of Micro Machines. I had a lot of other stuff of like late '80s stuff.
I had
a lot of
Micro
it.
Machines and Megaforce.
I had a lot of
You
my.
guys had one of those, but I had Megaforce as well. So I had like these. Every kid, I swear, like in the '80s, would go out in their backyard if they had dirt, and they would build like the biggest base they possibly could, and all the roads and stuff have all their like Micro Machines and Megaforce and Hot Wheels and Transformers, and sometimes I'd have like a Star Wars vehicle or something like that to put out there. Just every kid in the world did that back then, and that was just fun. I don't know why kids don't do it nowadays, but come on.
Sandbox
They didn't like to play in the
adventures.
dirt.
I definitely had plenty of Micro Machines. I forgot all about Micro Machines. So much fun.
I had like an entire like crate full of them. I swear. I don't know what it was like, and they even had those knockoff like cheaper versions of those Micro Machines were actually just as good quality as the real ones. That's
Some of them were
really
die-cast, the bootlegs.
Yeah.
You can push the button on the
Really
top
cool.
and they light up.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All I could say is that was the first commercial I ever went, that's Blur. So,
There's the
I
connection.
actually saw I saw him. He was actually on sitcoms, this, that, and the other, but I never knew about it until I actually listened to that commercial, and I went, oh, it's him. So, right, it's a Micro Machine. All right, we about
You
ready to
still
go into the little my little little segment.
Yeah, we can
Great.
go with that. It's the only other thing.
Are you riding a Segway or a hoverboard?
I don't have a Segway, but we're not supposed to have hoverboards because they blow up.
Check your feet. Are they on fire? Now you know what you're riding.
So the only few things I had left on our list is we were going to talk about Titan Wars Soundwave. That one is a mixed bag here. I think Brycey has some words for it.
I think you said it before.
There was the possible Lio Kaiser Combiner Wars Lio Kaiser art that we saw, and then there's also the possible Combiner Wars Computron. I guess there's a possibility those are being released as box sets.
I'll take the third party. Thank you.
The rumor for those Beast Wars, by the way, was Rat Trap, Cheetor, and Megatron. T-Cracker was the one posting about it. He's
I would like to
predicted a few of the other ones too. So
Cheetor would be nice. I'm gonna say it, and I've said this 100 times, and anyone who's listened for this in a long time just want a pterosaur.
I agree. It's one of those characters that really needs. There's certain designs that really need to be revisited.
That one was just pull the tail and it flipped, isn't it?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
in terms of show accuracy, the
I mean, 'cause
silhouette, if you will.
I'm extremely happy with my Generations Rat Trap. It's a very nice figure. I want to see some. If I had to choose Beast Wars characters that didn't have good figures that represent them in the show, it's Pterosaur and Black Arachnia.
Scorponok.
Scorponok's his toy is like
It's almost
identical to his.
The head remold away.
No, it's something to do with the tail. I'm sorry. Damn thing keeps wanting to fall backwards. If they did something else with the tail, I think it'd be perfect.
You got a defective.
Not every one I've ever had. It's just that back end is just too much. So
Too much
they need to
tail.
be able to afford it. Too much tail.
Optimus doesn't want too much tail in his
I
life.
hate to tell you this, but usually I like a lot of tail. But this time I'm saying too much tail.
Got some lead weights up at his head. Come on.
Got to scale that tail back a little bit.
All right, so I think we'll just skip over those for now. We might see more of them at Toy Fair. I mean, it's that time of the year. Toy Fair is coming up in 2 or 3 weeks, something like that. It's something very soon. So we'll have to wait to see what we get then. So we're gonna jump right into the topic on some knockoffs, and Brett's gonna lead us in this discussion.
Awesome. So here's what I wanted to talk about. Everyone knows I like all the vintage knockoffs, and you know, you get this guy here, nice G1 double header, and then a nice knockoff, goofy as heck.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
Just
I
crazy.
so want that.
I mean, and if you look, it's almost scaled 1-to-1. He's a little shorter, but no big deal. So
So G2.
yeah, so you got goofy stuff like that, okay? Or let me find. Okay, I did this before. Here's a nice little Grimlock, and then they came out with a nice,
Oh yeah, that one.
looking.
Oh, yeah, that guy's awesome.
With his little horn on his head.
But where's the Godzilla one?
Oh, it's buried. But then
I so want that Godzilla one.
you
I
get
do
like
too,
stuff that I
man.
really like Onslaught here, who is really big.
Oversized onslaught.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, this is my favorite. Okay, actually, just kind of like lay down there.
Now it's an episode of Jurassic Park: The Lost World.
There you go. So, but I've told people in these vintage, just oddities or just neat and all this that and the other, and I don't think anyone really has a problem with them. They have their own little thing. They're not trying to be something that they're not. They're their own thing. But then we start getting into stuff like this. Okay, this was just talked about. It's I guess it's a company making their version of MP10, but as you can see, it's much bigger and cheaper. So I was going to start off with this and ask you, what did you guys think about something like this, where we're getting new companies making exact duplicates of Hasbro Takara, but in this case, this one's just going to be bigger. What are your guys' thoughts on this?
Isn't that just about how iGear got started?
Well, we're going to get to that because I thought about that too.
I mean, to be honest, I guess it's okay. I mean, myself, I kept my MP01 because it's like the size of it, compared that to MP10. But just a straight up like copy and exploded thing. I mean, we've all seen these in dollar stores.
Well, and they also did it with Grimlock too, with the MP8X. They did the same thing, only it's oversized.
Well, they also did an oversized version of that movie Grimlock that came out. It was like the deluxe size, but they blew it up like 3 times bigger. It's almost like it's like almost half the size of Metroplex, the new Generations one. It's humongous. So I mean, I guess.
Bryce, what do you think about these things?
Exploded.
I don't really like them, to be honest. Just because a lot of people try to pass them off as real ones or say they're better than the real ones or whatever they want.
Like this one in particular, you know what I keep going back to is Faith. When they made the exact, 1-to-1 scale, and the quality just wasn't there. So that's what I'm thinking about this. I mean, it's bigger. I wonder if it's going to be as good. Is the quality going to be there? Are you really just wasting your money? Something like this, while I do like the oversized knockoffs like this stuff and everything, this particular one does not have a place in my collection for myself. And even though I looked at the Grimlock and I thought, man, that scale is a lot better with MP10 than the one that we have. I mean, I in my opinion, Grimlock needs to be a good head and shoulder above Prime, and he's not. So, yeah, it would work, but I still don't see myself buying one of those. So, that's just my thought. But then, this is where it started getting interesting. So, these companies are not only knocking off official products, but how about third-party items? They came out with an oversized Feral Rex from Mastermind's Creations. What are your thoughts about this? Can you really knock off a non-licensed product?
There's no honor among thieves.
That's true. I mean, the thing is, a lot of folks that actually owns Feral Rex, they know he's already pretty hefty as it is. And some people know that sometimes it tries to kind of lean forward, and that one there could possibly just completely fall off the shelf because it's too heavy and crumple under its own weight. So, I mean, there's certain reasons why engineering is like, well, I mean, it also depends on the tightness of the joints. I mean,
well, here's a couple things, and Bryce and I were sitting here talking about this, and he was talking about this section right here in the crotch section, and how every picture he ever saw, they were spread like this, and it's probably because they cut the costs on some of the joints. So this is non-movable. And then if you look up here at the fist, I'd be willing to bet that those fingers are not individually articulated.
Well, look at the one that's holding the sword. They're not separate at all.
Right.
It literally looks like it's the same thing. So, like you said, cutting cost as well.
Right.
So.
But here's the thing, and here's the kicker, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and show it. I'll go ahead and show you it. By the way, this is not my auction. I literally pulled this up because of what it was. So I have no loyalty to this auction. If you want to buy these, knock yourself out. And to the guy that's selling these, for everyone that you sell, I expect a commission now. $100 versus $500. That's a considerable difference. Well, with $40, so $140. That's a considerable difference. This might be a poor man's version, This might be their way of getting the big Predaking that they wanted without paying $500.
Well, I mean, if there wasn't something, I guess maybe scales with the Generations Devastator, I guess maybe that's what they're trying to go for here. But I mean, if you're saying quality-wise, I mean, the plastic could be thinner. It could crumble when you try transforming it or trying to move a joint when it's.
I'd be willing to bet that they cut costs everywhere on this thing, but still, $140 compared to $500. We're not talking a few bucks.
Yeah, but $140 is a big pill to swallow for something that isn't official. You're right.
Neither is Feral Rex. It's not official. It's $500.
Well, I mean, it's not official, but I mean, at least it's a unique design that's by a certain company that kind of has credit versus.
I had a unique design too. They got sued for it.
Right. Well, I mean, the thing I'm trying to get across is $140. That's a lot to swallow for something that you have no idea what the quality is.
You don't know what you're getting into for $140.
Right. I mean, there's people out there like Brycey's actually handled it, one of the KO versions of the Scorponok, and told you the stuff that's inferior. there's parts that weren't molded right. Things were not good on it at all compared to actually trying to get an original one.
But isn't
But then
that
if you
always...
listen online, everybody says, "Oh, it's just as good or it's better."
Right.
They're always
but, I
trying
mean,
to justify their own purchases, so they lie
Well,
about it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
Or
that
they're going
most
to
people who would buy a
represent it by
knockoff
saying it for
Smoke
the money.
probably don't have the original, so.
Well, or you could say, yeah, it's good quality for the money when you're comparing the prices. So I
You
can
can
see
get
that as well.
an original Scorponok for almost the same price as a knockoff, though.
that's
Lose
the
one.
thing. And I mean, $140, that's a lot to risk on something you don't know how thick the plastic is. I mean, if you're going to go all in on third-party stuff, I mean, we've all seen the Superion that was knocked off, and people's done reviews of it, and there are parts that are inferior on that thing that flop around everywhere. That's not even the third party, but just the KO version. So they are skimming out on these things, and they're just trying to do what they can with flipping the money. Like, you think about it, all the KO versions of the Masterpiece, every one of those that came out, well, now they're trying to blow them up, like you were just saying. Well, it's because they're done making their money on the ones that's the like original scale. Okay, so let's make them bigger. People will buy them just because they're bigger. Doesn't necessarily mean there's good value in there. You got to look at the quality of the item and how much money you're spending on it. I mean, if you're only spending $20 on a Masterpiece Prime that's supposed to be in, the MP10, if you pay $20 for this thing and it's this tall, okay, we paid $20 for it, and that's $20.
Jim's asking,
$300 for this fucking thing that's that
Jim
tall.
Black is
It
asking,
better
when you
have some
talk
good
about
quality.
when you're talking about the Superion knockoff, are you talking about the Combiner Wars version or the Uranus version?
The Uranus.
Okay. So you're talking
That
about the
thing
Uranus
has
version.
problems. I have seen several reviews of it. It's a complete piece of junk. It's not even really. I mean, you might as well buy the official one, from the third-party company
correct.
instead of just buying
I'll go on record as
Xbox
also
version.
saying that a lot of these quote-unquote official, unofficial third-party, they threw out some lemons too.
I mean, yeah, that's what I was going to jump in with. I mean, we're talking about how you would have to spend $140 on this on a gamble, but that's every startup third company product you ever buy, right? And usually, almost every third party company, their first figure is usually some sort of turd. And someone had to buy it and say, well, I can see that they were trying to do with this, but it's kind of garbage. And then eventually they get to the point of making something good. It's almost the same thing. The only thing here is that they're mimicking something that you already have an idea of, instead of making their own unique design. But it's always a gamble that you're always taking with a third-party company or a company making knockoffs. You never know what you're going to get.
And you're absolutely right about that. I had 3 different versions of two different versions of the Fall Cybertron Bruticus, and 2 of them were KO versions, and one of them, they skimmed out on so much engineering, that thing was a floppy-ass mess. And then the plastic was really thin. I was afraid if it fell on the floor, it would just explode. And the other one I had was actually pretty comparable with the plastic quality was there, and it transformed just fine, just like the original Hasbro and Takara release. But the point I'm trying to get across is when you're buying these things, you got to think about the type of plastic they're using. Are they using something that's like a soap bottle? Or are they using it like, really, really hard, rigid plastic that if it falls, it will snap like that, and then you won't be able to fix it. So, I mean, that's the stuff you have to look at. When I saw the pictures of that, I kind of see that as like that really thin, robust, hard plastic that if it fell, it'd probably snap.
Possible.
That's just looking at the way the fists are all molded together like that, I guarantee you probably on the underside of it's all hollow, and it probably doesn't hold together worth a damn. It probably just doesn't.
Well,
But I mean, $140, that's a lot of remolding and blowing up of this thing to try to.
it is, but if someone really wanted it,
Well,
Yeah,
and
I mean, I'm not saying don't buy it. I'm just saying.
just to interject for a sec, the thing is also is there's kind of there's that level of between third party and bootleg. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, third party, usually most of these guys in these factories, they have a goal to put a product together that'll hold together. And I know Plasticon, especially because he collects the bootleg stuff. Some of that shit'll fall apart. Like and when those things are made by those companies, and if you even want to call them companies, the seedy underbelly from China that makes that stuff, they have no intention for that stuff to hold together. It is literally the most low cost. I mean, it's like they take plastic pellets and just fuse them together, and it's the most brittle plastic on the planet. The term you were saying, like a soap bottle, it's sofubi in Japanese is the term, which is like it's a plastic that's almost vinyl that'll shatter from like a high fall or something. And I mean, to me, I look at that Predaking, and it feels like it's a guy who has one of those bootlegs. Let's not even use the term knockoff. Like one of these bootleg toys that are made of a crap plastic, and he's just asking a butt ton of money because it's a big bootleg. I have a bootleg Primus that's like, it's on a card back that's like the size of my couch. I don't even know how to describe it. It's huge, this Primus card back, and it's a piece of crap. Like it's this huge toy. And it's a piece of crap, though, when you open it. It's like the most fragile bootleg of the Cybertron Primus toy. But this thing, when I see it on eBay, like people are asking like $80 for it because it's a big, fancy-looking bootleg. But is it a good toy? No. So like Plasticon saying, $140 for something that I think, the molded fists together, probably a shitty bootleg. That's not going to fly.
true.
That's what I'm saying. It's a big pill to swallow. I mean, if he was asking like $60 for it, okay, maybe. But to be honest, I mean, yeah, okay, you have 5 robots to turn. You have to completely look at the whole idea of the quality of that.
Is there
that
any more
plastic.
photos
I mean,
outside of that
it's-
one combined mode?
Yeah, there's a bunch on Facebook
there
and
is.
stuff of
Now I'm
people
curious.
having it.
Because that
Oh,
might
yeah.
that might reveal a little more then.
I mean, if anybody out there, and you can put this down in the the comments and such, link us a video review of it if somebody's done one. I mean, because a lot of us out there watch Ben's Collectibles. He tends to get a hold of a lot of stuff before anybody over there, and he gets a bunch of stuff off of Sir Toys, and Sir Toys is notorious for every KO you can think of, and even their non-official stuff they have made for their own company. But there's a lot of stuff that they have on there that is pretty cool, but there's some on there that's like, yeah, you stay the hell away from that because it's not worth the money for the shipping.
Does anyone notice anything about these pictures?
Yeah, now it looks like the official product all of a sudden.
This is the knockoff, or whatever, bootleg. That's the official.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, what the
Yeah,
hell's going on?
put those in there to show you how it can pose and all this that and the other.
And all he does is he just puts his watermark on it, so it makes it all think it's the same product.
Yeah.
Someone's got to buy it. Someone's gonna have to buy it, and then we'll find out.
Well, I was hoping to
That's
show you the individual robots, but these are all official.
No. The black lines inside of Bovis's legs there, that's the tape.
Right here?
Yeah. Those black lines on the thighs, or on the shins,
On
Yeah.
the paint
they
there.
shouldn't be there on the original.
Oh, so you think this is the actual knockoff?
Yeah.
Or bootleg, whatever you want to call it. Okay. Let's look at it. That looks really fun.
Let me tell you something though. Keep in mind, a picture doesn't mean anything because
Right.
I mean, as someone who owns like Wonderfest model kits of Transformer stuff that looks great in photos, but when you touch it, it falls to pieces.
But look right here. The legs are hollow. The feet are hollow. See?
Yeah.
Here, I got the... Hold on.
There's nothing of the fists though.
I got a picture of the fist here, if I can...
They're
screen
hidden
share.
inside here.
Right here.
Yeah.
There it is.
See, exactly what I was saying.
Looks pretty bad inside.
I mean, I guess it's okay if you don't. I mean, if a lot of you guys out there don't have the money to dump on getting the official one, I mean, but you're risking a lot of money. But I mean, to me, it looks like if that's a ball joint, and if this is that kind of quality plastic that I've handled, that ball joint will probably snap if it has any kind of major friction on it. The same thing with the little pins trying to hold the fists on.
Then
I don't know.
I would
it looks
go
really
back.
cheap to me.
I would go back and say, even though it's not cheap, you're still, you're paying what you're getting. You're getting what you pay for. If you're looking at an item that normally is $500 and you're getting it for $100, you're getting a fifth of the quality. How's that? So.
Each individual finger is articulated on the real one.
Yeah, on the real ones, I mean, you can on
Yeah.
every finger. That one is like claw hand going on, and
He could dig a mean trench, though.
The claw man. I like that.
he could do this or this. That's about all he could do. And hope to God the thumb doesn't break off.
True.
I don't know. I just don't see how that thing would even support the sword. Because I mean, if you look at the picture that
Well,
they have,
if you look at it,
the sword
looks
looks
cheap
on the
too.
ground.
Yeah, but the sword looks cheap too. So it's probably
Yeah, it
a
does.
real lightweight plastic.
And if it's anything, Brett, have you handled that swirly kind of like cheap knockoff plastic that literally snaps like that when you put anything
Well,
in it?
I mean, some
like
of this
a
knockoff stuff.
5mm port or something that just snaps it.
Well, I've had a couple different ones, like, and it's kind of weird when you talk about knockoffs, like this one, which is the backpack of this guy right here. And to give you an idea, it's actually rubber.
Mhm.
So they went with and you can actually almost see through it. See how clear the plastic is? You can see my finger
It's all
behind
the
it.
mold flash. They didn't even bother
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah, no, that's literally what's supposed to be solid. You get it? Is so thin, it's almost transparent. See, look.
It's like when they pressed it, I guess. It thinned out the original.
Well, you got the original that's like this, and then you have this is. It's cheap, but yeah, I mean this is different. This is 100% not supposed to represent this.
I agree. To me, like the bootlegs and stuff like that I collect are always stuff that are charming, that are interesting. They have
Yeah.
character to them. I've never been someone who wants a bootleg that is trying to be a 100% representation of the original product.
Correct.
Except when it's something that is a toy that is so expensive or rare that it needs to then probably I own an original Minerva, but I would totally understand if a third-party bootleg of it was out there. I
give you a better example, and Bryce knows about what I'm going to say. Battle Gaia and Guard City.
Or even the
the
reissue
knockoff
of those.
Well, the knockoff ones are 100 times cheaper and easier to get. So why not?
Well, yeah. Again, the headmaster heads with Lyozer
Exactly.
and Loafer and all of them. Like, I mean, those guys loose at some Botcons, you're talking $500 a pop, depending who you talk to. So it's one of those things that was what was the box? It was like $100 for like everybody, and a black Zarek that doesn't crumble to pieces.
Right. Exactly.
So for a lot of people, that was a really good alternative, a really, really good alternative. If those, let's say each one of those were the real figure, you're talking $8,000. That box would be.
Right,
Maybe?
but you're also looking at the quality, Dan. I mean, the
quality was amazing.
It was great. They were awesome. They were worth the money.
I have them
And
there.
if you
That's what I'm
remember,
looking at.
if you remember when they first came out, they didn't have stampings, and then they made them with the stampings.
Oh, did they afterwards?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Huh. They went the full yard. Jeez, now it's pointless to try to buy one loose now. Oh man.
Yeah, you gotta really know what you're looking for.
Oh, geez, I didn't know that they put the stamps now.
Well, Dan, remember the G3 Inferno that I got? That one that was, and that thing's great quality. and it's charming because it's different colored compared to anything that ever released.
Those are the kind of bootlegs I like. I like it when
those are cool.
When you have like, I'm trying to think of like, because I have like so much weird stuff in my closet over there of bootlegs that don't have a proper display, but it's just like I have bootlegs of like it's Thunderwing, a G1 Pretender, and it was shrunk down and done in like different color waves. You know, like I have like so much weird stuff like that. That I like. That's interesting.
You did a review of those too.
Yeah, I did a review of that one.
Like this one, the Power Master Prime.
Yeah, there you go. The Power Master Prime with the gold chest and stuff.
The gold chest and weird stuff.
That I dig. I like that kind of stuff.
Exactly. But that's not really what we're talking about. We're talking about third party, or whatever knockoffs.
I'm not on board.
Third party.
Yeah.
I'm not on board for. You know what? The problem is even good third party stuff. Like, and I respect engineering and I respect their ability to make good product. But even then, I'm usually not on game for all of it. So when you're talking like bootlegs of bootlegs, nah.
I agree with you.
Too far away.
Even I can't think of one third-party company that's made hit it out of the park every time. Every company's had a dud. Okay, so now you're talking about making a less than an inferior product from a company that has made inferior products. So I mean, it's kind of like what is that? Making a Xerox of a Xerox. I mean, eventually it's not gonna be as crisp. It's not gonna be as clean. So,
yeah. Well, then you just need to hope someone buys it first and does a terrible review.
Yeah. It's funny. I used to be the guy that would go as soon as the new combiner would come out. I'd be pre-ordering first ones, stand man get. And now, what's the problem with that? Not only it could be you don't like it, it's a piece of crap, it doesn't work well, but you also, if you wait, this company's making one. This one might make one that looks even better. And then if you've already got this one, you've already invested your money.
And not to mention, dare I say, instead of spending that $140 on this one here that's all based on a chance, let's see what maybe Takara and Hasbro might do in a year from now.
Look at Devastator. We were shocked.
Know?
Well, I mean, that kind of goes back to that, the whole pseudo possibly Lio Kaiser. I mean, you think about it, a lot of guys can't afford the original. And I know the third-party one looks phenomenal. Some people aren't going to be able to afford that. So
Sure.
At least they allow these guys to actually get hold of something that's very rare, that's been a hole in their collection for years, and they're like, I can finally get this thing. Especially if they release it as a box set. I mean, if they do that, I really hope they slap a bunch of awesome Japanese stuff all over it and make it look really cool for the guys that can never get a hold of one of these. I mean, it's rare. Everybody knows it is.
Yeah, it's definitely in the top 10 for sure.
I agree.
So, I mean, honestly, I would like to see... I honestly have been wanting to see Hasbro do something with some beast formers that do the same thing that these combining vehicles do. I would like to see a Predaking done that way.
Well, it would definitely... If they did a Predaking, it would definitely open up more to then seeing more beast characters in general from repaints, because all of those Predaking designs, if you're really clever, you could get a Rhinox out of it, a Cheetor out of it, a Prowl, Prowl 2, if you want to call it. You could get a lot out of that. And the beautiful thing is, it shows now that Hasbro is willing to not just do straight up repaints. They're willing to retool extensively. They're willing, at first it used to be, oh, hey, we'll put a new head on it. Now they're willing to go, the whole yard. You look at something look at Chromia, to Prime RC. They're willing to really re-engineer something that, I mean, to a lot of people didn't even realize that generation's Chromia was the Prime RC. They thought that was just a brand new mold trying to be the original G1 character. So it shows that who knows what could come of it. And a Predaking official release could really be a boon for Beast stuff afterwards.
Yeah, I really need to see that, and maybe hopefully a Monstructor or Dino King. I mean, I could probably see a Monstructor more stateside than Dino King, but Dino King would end up getting their Takara repaints. I mean,
we'll see with that. Right now,
I know
Right
we got
now-
the third-party one that's out right
Yeah,
now.
right now the third-party one's doing a pretty good job.
Yeah,
And
it
again,
is.
I'm not a big third-party guy, but a spade's a spade, you know, and they're doing a
Well,
very
it
good
is.
job.
It's a phenomenal toy, but you have to look at price point, and a lot of
Oh, God,
people
yeah.
can't afford that. That's the thing.
Just the
Especially
shells are
getting a hold of the
$100.
shells. The shells are just gorgeous.
They're gorgeous, but they're
But-
expensive. Yep.
Yeah.
Gorgeous comes with a price. That's like
per shell.
that's like the guy that can own, a Mustang, but they want a Ferrari. You see what I mean? There is a big difference. They're both sports cars. They're both very fast. They both are appealing.
Just
But some
one
people
pony
can
only
only
walks
afford-
on two legs.
Right. Exactly. But that's just how it works. I mean, and that's the way. Honestly, I can see like with the Lyle Kaiser. I would like to see him re-engineer into that stuff because I want to see a Monstructor. I want to see a Dino King come out that's official. A lot of these guys, like, they're going back and they're watching all these cartoons and stuff like that. And the kids are coming up, they're seeing these older cartoons. They're like, well, where's the toy of that Dino Combiner thing? There is one, but it's so rare to get hold of. And most people's never seen one, So, I mean, that's just how it works. Hopefully, Hasbro does something in Takara.
With all due time.
Yeah, I can see
Yep.
it.
With all due time. I think that the plate is so full right now for probably this year and next year that with all due time.
I'm just glad that they were able to build up a, like a combiner port that actually works, that doesn't break. I'm glad they actually figured out how to make that engineering work a lot better.
Yeah, unfortunately, it seems that aside from the box sets we're getting, and the possible, remolds that may or may not become Lyle Kaiser and Computron, that the Combiner Wars stuff is mostly, out of focus now. We're going into Headmasters, we're going into Titans.
I wouldn't count it out too much in the sense that I could still see, like, the way that exclusives are being handled, and I could still see, like, down the line us getting a repaint of something in another box set. Not a brand new mold, though, unfortunately. So, like, as it stands right now, yeah, we're probably not going to see, Road Caesar and Predaking and stuff like that. There's nothing in the cards yet. Although, hey, I could be totally wrong. We're going to go to Botcon or SDCC and they'll totally reveal something. But yeah, right now we've entered the age of Headmasters. We've entered the age of the gimmicks. Let's just hope it doesn't go the same direction Transformers did in '87. So.
I'm just curious.
2017, I'm calling it. It's the year of the Action Master.
Are you kidding? It's just when it start getting great. Oh,
Oh no, I had nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying in terms of sales.
oh, hey,
I don't know. Well, think about this.
You've got Transformers, you've got G.I. Joe, you got the G.I. Joe brands kind of on the trailing down. Combine the two of them, make them so they're compatible. You get your Action Masters, you get a little boost from your Joe sales. Everyone's happy.
Nah, they're too busy mixing it with Rom the Space Knight right now. So
Yeah, I heard about that.
yeah, so
Yeah.
it's gonna be an interesting future.
Swing and a miss.
Maybe,
Man with a magnet.
maybe.
Tell me again why I think that you get all this good stuff with the Masterpiece Primal, and then you give it to Takara, and it's kind of, they can still drop the ball.
Maybe they'll just make him in rainbow colors or something. Everybody will be like, oh, I don't want that. It's ugly. I'll be the guy that buys it.
Yeah, we know you like your rainbow
I'm
colors.
not 1%.
True.
All right. So, I think we've had pretty good discussion tonight. It's great to be back. 2016. Can't wait to see what's happening. But we're going to go ahead and call it a night. It's been another episode of Transformers for your listening pleasure, episode 184. I'm going to let these guys say goodbye, and then we're going black.
So,
We're not going plaid. What?